Alright, here's the big headline straight away. The Chiefs released an injury report ahead of Sunday night's matchup with the Detroit Lions. And while the overall roster looks healthy, there's one name that grabbed attention: Xavier Worthy, listed with shoulder and ankle designations. The team report shows most of Kansas City's top players practicing and available, which is exactly the kind of good news you want right before a primetime game. Now, here's why that matters. Worthy has shown flashes as a vertical threat this season, and even in his limited snaps, he's changed how defenses have to account for Mahomes' targets. If Worthy's active, the Lions' defense will have to respect the deep ball more, which opens space underneath for Travis Kelce and the tight and heavy looks Andy Reid loves to run. On the flip side, if Worthy is limited or sits, expect the Chiefs to lean more on quick routes, motion, and matchups they can win with JuJu and Hollywood Brown. That subtle shift can change play calling across the board. Coach Andy Reid and the staff typically use Friday's practice reports and a final inactive list to make the call. So, while Worthy's designation is notable, it isn't a final answer yet. Local beat writers are reporting optimism from the team that Worthy moved well on Friday, which increases the chances he suits up. Still, the official game day roster won't be set until closer to kickoff. So, keep an eye on the Chiefs' inactives and national updates tonight. Quick interaction right now. Type yes in the comments if you think Xavier Worthy plays Sunday, or no if you think he sits. If you're new here and you want more fast, no-nonsense Chiefs updates, hit subscribe. We're pushing to get to 5,000 subscribers, and your support helps us keep bringing these breakdowns. And please like the video if this kind of injury and depth analysis helps your fantasy or matchup prep. Let's unpack this injury update a little deeper, because when the Chiefs list a player like Xavier Worthy as limited or full participant, it doesn't always tell the full story. Worthy was first listed earlier this week with both shoulder and ankle issues. By the end of practice sessions, he moved up to full participation. That's good news, but it still doesn't guarantee he's 100%. Here's what most fans don't realize. A full participant tag on Friday usually means the player can physically go through drills, but it doesn't always mean the coaching staff plans to give him his normal snap count. Sometimes Reid and Nagy will dress a player who's technically cleared, but still hold him to 20 or 30 offensive plays just to protect him. We've seen this before with other Chiefs receivers when they were nursing minor strains. They suited up, but the workload was managed. For Worthy, it's not just about being on the field. It's about the role he plays in stretching defenses. When he's in motion, even as a decoy, safeties have to respect his speed. That creates those open lanes for Kelce on crossers and those quick outs for Reid. So, whether he's at full speed or 85%, his presence alone matters. Now, the bigger question is how Kansas City adjusts if Worthy isn't fully himself. Hollywood Brown has been getting more targets, and JuJu's chemistry with Mahomes is improving each week. Reid is still the reliable possession guy, but remember, he's had his own limited participation earlier this season. That means the Chiefs might rely more heavily on short passing and quick reads to neutralize the Lions' pass rush. Exactly the kind of game plan Reid loves when his deep threats aren't 100%. And this is where full participation really becomes a chess move. The Lions' defensive staff reads those reports too. If they assume Worthy's healthy, they'll have to plan for the deep threat, which can actually help Kansas City even if he's not 100%. It's a little mind game between coaching staffs. So, I want to hear from you. If Worthy suits up, do you think Mahomes targets him deep early, or do they ease him in with a short screen just to test that shoulder? Type deep if you think they go long right away, or short if you think it's going to be a cautious start. Now, let's talk matchups, because Worthy's health doesn't just affect the Chiefs, It completely reshapes how the Lions have to defend Kansas City. Detroit's defense has been preparing all week for two entirely different game plans, depending on whether or not Xavier Worthy is at full speed. If Worthy is active and moving well, the Lions have to stretch their secondary deep. That means keeping a safety over the top, usually in cover 2 or cover 3 looks, to make sure they don't get burned. That instantly opens up the middle of the field for Travis Kelce. And when Kelce is getting single coverage, Mahomes eats defenses alive. Worthy being healthy creates that exact space. But if Worthy's limited, the Lions can cheat down their safeties and focus on pressure. Detroit's front seven can rush 4 and still get home. So, if the Chiefs don't have that vertical threat, it's going to be on the offensive line to give Mahomes that extra second to find his checkdowns. That's where guys like Rashee Rice and JuJu Smith-Schuster have to step up. They need to win those quick routes, keep the chains moving, and let Mahomes stay ahead of the sticks. Another key matchup is Lions corners versus Hollywood Brown. Brown's been sneaky good in short yardage work this season. But if Worthy can't go deep, Detroit can double Brown and limit outside options. That's exactly when Andy Reid likes to throw in a creative wrinkle, maybe a fake jet sweep, maybe a motion into a tight end screen to Noah Gray. You can't outmuscle Hutchinson all night, so Reid's going to look for misdirection and rhythm plays to throw Detroit off. Flip it to defense. The Chiefs actually look pretty healthy heading into this one, and that's big. Their pass rush has been quietly dominant. And with Detroit facing questions up front, Kansas City has a real chance to dictate tempo. If the Chiefs get pressure early, it could be a long night for Jared Goff. What makes this matchup even more interesting is how Mahomes reads momentum. He's a rhythm quarterback. When he hits Worthy or Brown early, the confidence spreads. You see it in the body language, in the play calling. Suddenly, Kelce's smiling. The tempo's up, and the Chiefs' offense looks like it's back in playoff form. That's why Worthy's status matters more than people realize. It's not just about one player. It's about the domino effect on the entire offensive identity. So, here's a straight-up question for you. If Worthy's healthy, do the Chiefs win this game? Type yes in the comments if you think they take care of business, or no if you think the Lions pull the upset. All right. Time to wrap this up with the final takeaways, some fantasy notes, and one last fan challenge. First, the big takeaway. This week's injury report was more good news than bad. The Chiefs are heading into Sunday night with one of the healthiest rosters in the league, and that's something you couldn't say about most contenders right now. The only real concern was Xavier Worthy, and based on the team's tone and practice reports, he's trending in the right direction. That's not just important for Sunday. It's crucial for the long-term offensive rhythm Mahomes and Andy Reid are trying to build. If Worthy plays at even 90%, it keeps defenses honest. If he plays at 100%, it completely changes how teams defend the Chiefs for the rest of the year. Suddenly, you can't load the box against Pacheco. You can't double Kelce without risking a deep strike. And you can't blitz as often because one missed assignment turns into a 70-yard highlight. That's how thin the margin is. One player's speed can dictate everything. For fantasy football players watching this, here's the move. If Worthy is active, he's a flex play with upside. Even a limited Worthy can get a deep shot or a gadget touchdown. And Mahomes loves to reward his playmakers early. If he's inactive, pivot to Hollywood Brown or Rashee Rice. Both should see volume. And if you're in a deeper league, maybe stash Noah Gray as a sneaky red zone play. For the game itself, don't sleep on the Chiefs' defense. With the Lions dealing with their own injury issues up front, Chris Jones and the pass rush could feast. If that front gets pressure early, it could swing the game in Kansas City's favor. Now, here's your fan challenge. Drop your final score prediction in the comments right now. Be bold. I'll pin one of the best takes before kickoff. Do the Chiefs win big? Do the Lions make it close? Let's see who nails it. And of course, if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our post-game reaction and film breakdown next week. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers, and your support means everything to this channel. Drop a like if you enjoyed this breakdown. It helps the video reach more fans across Chiefs Kingdom. This has been Total Chiefs News, bringing you the stories that matter most to real fans. Stay tuned, stay loud, and we'll see you right after kickoff.